You're also recording the audio of it too? Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bladtcast 300. It is I, Christian Blatt, joined, as always, by the whole gang. Well, most of the gang, the in-person gang.
The only gang that
Will
matters.
Starling. Well, that's not true. It's not the only gang that matters. It's just the only gang that's here. Will Starling, say hi to the people.
Hi, people.
And, you're getting to see us, which is very exciting. Or is it? I don't know. I mean, it's exciting to see you guys. I don't know who's excited to see me.
We all wore the same shirt.
We did all wear the same shirt.
Completely by
With
accident.
varying levels
Yeah.
of dog hair.
Yes, actually. And hamburger crumbs.
And stains.
There was definitely hamburger crumbs on that side of the desk. Anyway, sorry we got a late start. We were making our due diligence, as it were, to try and get
Dramatic
our friend...
entrance.
Yeah, trying to get our friend Coltrane patched in, which we've done many times when we don't have video, but it didn't work this time, but I will call him on the cell phone. We'll chat with him for a few minutes. It's going to be very high tech. For those watching on the video, you're going to see me hold my cell phone up to this microphone. And, we'll talk to him for a few minutes, but I don't know that I want to do the whole show that way. But... there'd be something to be said for it as well. It would be a sort of very Bladtcast moment. Let's take a quick moment to pat ourselves on the back.
On the Blatt?
Yeah, pat ourselves on the back with 300 rings of the bell. No, not really.
That's almost as hardcore as what I did for this episode. I started carving
Oh my God.
300 into my arm.
What happened?
then gave
we're
up.
only on the wide shot, but just hold up your arm there. And Jeff, have you taken up cutting? Is that what's happened here?
Yeah, it's the only way I can feel.
It's branding now.
I wish that it wasn't so funny. That you're like, yeah, it's the only way I can feel. And you know what? People on the video were able to see. At least it looks like you gave yourself a hickey.
After 300 episodes.
This is not from the vacuum cleaner. God damn it. Why are you blowing up my spot already?
I don't know. So here we are, and a lot of the problem with the way we do the Bladtcast now is we usually record it in the morning.
Yeah.
And Agent Starling, you've said that doesn't matter in terms of having beers. We could drink beers at 11 a.m.
Listen, let's be adults. You can drink whatever
But
you
it's
want.
Sunday at 2 o'clock, so I would say...
Yeah.
Special thanks to our friend Jeff Winstead. These are some Lone Rider beers. This is Deadeye Jack, which is a porter. And what do you have, Will?
The good, the bad, and the hoppy.
Yeah.
Pistols at dawn.
Pistols at Dawn. Thanks to Jeff. I mean, I was going to pour it into my my Bladtcast mug, but then I was like, well, I could just drink it out of the can.
Yeah.
Yeah, be an adult. Be a man. Drink it out of the can.
I might use the mug later for the bromosas.
Oh, yeah. Can
bromosas.
you explain what bromosas are?
Bromosa.
I understood in context, but I can't. I have to admit that I hadn't heard of them before.
Bromosa is basically just beer with some orange juice in it. It's basically the way of pretending that you're doing anything but drinking beer.
So you're saying bros can't drink regular mimosas? That regular mimosas are not bro drinks?
No, anyone can
No,
drink
that's what you're saying.
a mimosa.
Just admit it. That's what you're saying.
However, if you want to prove that you're not gay, you should drink a bromosa.
Oh, okay, so it's like that. Okay.
Right?
I mean, I like a regular mimosa, so obviously I'm gay.
I've definitely gotten gay on some mimosas, but
So is
like
this...
happy, geez.
Are you gentlemen experiencing an autumn of gay? Is that what I'm
Autumn of
taking
gay.
away here?
The summer of gay.
falling for dick?
There we are with that. Anyway, we've got a few people in the chat. If you had to guess, only one guess.
As to
Who's in the chat? Who would you guess?
Matt Casey?
Matt Casey.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
his real
he's
name.
there. Uvula Scrimshaw also in the chat. Thank you very much.
Who is that?
That is someone who's been in the chat before when we've done these. And there's apparently 8 people watching, but a lot of them are camera shy, I guess, or chat shy. But if you're watching and you're enjoying it, or even if you're not, especially if you're not
Yeah, I
enjoying
want
us.
to know more about the hate.
If you're especially
Please
not
hate on
if
it.
you're especially not enjoying us, Pulpy, you should definitely join into the chat.
If we don't get a certain amount of trolls, I'm not going to finish this carving.
Wait, you're not. So you're just going to do Bladtcast 30 in your arm?
No, Black has 0.
I mean, that's every week, isn't it? Really. Anyway, let's take that moment to pat ourselves on the blat, as I said before, and talk about this accomplishment. Surprising though it may be that we're at 300 episodes of a show that like 8 people listen to, but that's actually not true.
And it's
Yeah.
it's gone by so fast.
I mean, it has when you think about
Technically,
it.
yeah.
It
feels like we just did 150 when I was still married and both of the wives were on the show. That was 150.
That was 150.
At
And
premiere.
you, well, you have a new job now, but just for the sake of the joke. Yeah, you had a wife and you had a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you have a different job, but yeah, that was 150,
now.
wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, but so this is like almost 7 years. We're getting very close to
Jesus
7
Christ.
years of doing this, I guess, or is it almost 6? It's almost 6. I'm sorry, I lied just now when I wanted to impress you guys.
Do people think that we're friends when we record? But like once we stop recording, like you guys don't get to see this, but like we hate each other. You know what I mean?
No, for real.
We really
I mean,
just
even
do
while,
this.
while we record sometimes.
We've
Will
just been
invited me
doing
to a
this.
movie this morning, and I jumped on it because I was like, "This is the first time Will's ever tried to hang out with me."
You know that
Done.
you only got invited because I said no, right?
Absolutely not true.
Obviously knew that I was a.
Okay.
Christian was the first invite because he already lives in the valley.
Yep.
And then I was like, but he probably has kid stuff, so I was like, I bet you it's gonna be.
Yeah, I've got my in-laws around
Hey, I'll take
while
second
Heather
place.
is still in New York, and my in-laws went to the World Series the last 2 nights.
Oh, God.
They were at the 18-inning game
Are
on
they
Friday.
big Red Sox fans?
No, they are not.
That's too bad.
They really enjoyed the 18-inning game, and they enjoyed the first 7 innings of last night, and then not so much after that.
Wonder why.
I was gonna say the 9 unanswered runs, and then they tacked on some garbage runs at the end.
Yeah.
The Dodgers did. My buddy from Tim Sicardo, past guest of the Bladtcast, he is a good Rhode Island boy, and he is now going to Game 5 tonight because those tickets were suddenly up on StubHub for like $150.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't like to cast with too broad of a brush, but I would say there's nothing that's more indication of a city full of bandwagon fans that when a World Series game with your ace on the mound is suddenly listed for like a third of the price the night before games were. Yeah. And Matt in KC says 50 Shades of Blatt, which I think we might have done for an episode. I don't know, but not episode 50. And Jeff Winstead, who's watching, appreciates the Lone Rider plug. And he can tell me in the chat exactly what it is, but Lone Rider has branched out and they have a whiskey now. So I'm expecting when he drives from Palm Springs to the Valley to go see Aquaman with us, that trunk is just loaded down.
We'll be drinking like a fish.
You can be like smoking the band and run a moonshine across.
Do you want to see, those watching on YouTube, how the clang Jeff just made a dumb joke bell works? So you hold it down and then you go like this. Oh no. You just... That's a little how-to.
Say he's got eagle eyes and a real beak. He's for the birds.
I'm definitely not hitting it for that.
Make a wish.
So,
It's stuck.
Jeff, as somebody who really got roped into the Bladtcast late, and you were and we've talked a little bit about this, you were under the impression that it was part of your job. It was like something that you had to do. like you have to cut promos.
I have to do
you
this.
have to cut promos for affiliates, and you have to send the ads in. And you have to sit around for 2.5 hours and record the Bladtcast after the show.
Yep.
Usually only once a week, or we would do it over 2 days. Big spoiler, big secret from behind the scenes. That's why it used to be broken up into sections like that, because we would record them on different days. And
Because
it
it
was
was
easier.
like a fully you had like segment ideas, everything was so well produced, and now it's just really it's just
You had a whole studio.
coming in
to
and
do
getting
it
crazy.
before.
Just like
Well, the problem was that we used to have a real guy on the show in Coltrane, and we're all
like a guy's guy. You mean?
a guy's guy, yeah, and we're all very femme and in touch with our what side. So
With our what side?
Yeah.
Does that mean our butt side?
yeah, exactly, yeah. But
I like to say I'm comfortable.
at what point did you start to think, Jeff, that like, oh, this isn't that bad? I mean, we would talk about things that it turned out you were interested in. To some
a good
extent.
question.
Was
I
it
don't
like
know.
10 shows into recording at Premiere?
It probably, by the time we started recording at Premiere, is probably when I started enjoying it more, because when we were still at the Cumulus Studios, I was just in like a completely different room, and I was not on it. Like, I helped you guys record a few
it's true.
before I ever said a word on the podcast, because you guys had your cast of characters and you had like running stuff. You were already you were 100 episodes deep by the time I even came in close to it.
Yeah, we were one ball deep.
Yeah.
That one ball was right in there. Yeah.
Solid ball deep.
Wow.
And so I was just kind of like, so I was just observing, and it was one of those things where it was like, it wasn't like a podcast that I felt like I was supposed to be a part of. It just felt like something I was meant to engineer.
you weren't.
While getting some stuff done.
Yeah, you actually weren't supposed to be part of it, but
Yeah, and then you guys, after David left and started going to never coming to record and stuff.
Honestly, we just needed
or in
someone to
bed.
like try to make the new David so we could make fun. But
Well, that's really what it
You
was.
Being pretty cool.
You
and,
replaced him.
You know.
Yeah, and then it turned out like, oh wait, you like the stuff we talk about.
Well, at first
And-
I played the character. I played the like,
Yeah.
I don't understand things character, right?
Yeah.
I would just like, you guys start talking about something. It'd be something I obviously knew. And I'd be like,
but-
I
But it
don't
wasn't
care.
obvious to us because we didn't know you.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're like, oh yeah, he doesn't like this. And then we realized like, wait, you like all this stuff. And then there was also sort of the realization that like Ken was Coltrane. Ken was a much bigger nerd than he ever let on.
Right.
You know, because like it was just like he
went
was
to
like
Doctor Who.
he'd like watched like whatever it was like 7 seasons of Doctor Who at that point, and we're like, oh, so you can talk to us about that too. But we had the segments, the sections, and I still think that like Coltrane's Corner is something it's like earmarked for a certain type
He's
of
bringing
news
us like
story.
news from the field now.
Yeah, it's he's a roving reporter.
Yeah.
A roaming reporter, and so yeah, I think it really wasn't. Once you started letting us record at your job that you didn't work with or for us, I think it was just like, oh well, obviously we can talk to Jeff, and Will would be. No, Coltrane would often be in the studio with you, and then Will would be with me. Yeah,
because it was like, but the setup that we moved into, I had to like, I couldn't not be a part of it, right? Because at least one person was in the studio with me. Versus before, where it would be like I just like surf online and do other things.
But then there were times too where you would get us started and you had to go work in another studio.
That's
and then
true,
you
too.
duck in and out. And then Bujenski still worked there at that point, so he would come with you sometimes too. Oh, sorry. I mean, if I'm going to say he would come with you, that's why the bell is here. This bell, by the way, is 200 Bladtcasts old.
Whoa.
Our friend Matt and KC, who was in the chat, he sent this to us for Bladtcast 100. It's engraved 100 Bladtcasts. You wouldn't be able to see it even if we were using the close-ups in here. So you'll just have to take my word for it. And by the way, speaking of 100 and Matt and KC, very generous and completely unnecessary, sending us a gift card to Bevmo.
What?
Which I did not use for these because I already had these wonderful Lone Rider beers. But maybe for our Christmas Bladtstravaganza,
great.
which we haven't necessarily done the last couple of years, but I feel like we need to do it this
Peppermint
year.
schnapps,
Yeah, peppermint schnapps.
Fireball.
Well, for Coltrane in spirit. Now, Will,
Christmas spirit.
what do you when you think about the fact that we've done 300 of these Bladtcasts? I mean, what do you think like what a colossal waste of time, or has it helped you in any of your career endeavors in terms of like the podcast that you co-host, developing your own podcast, or you feel like you would have maybe done all that stuff without us? We didn't help you at all is what I'm asking.
Well, I think because I started at Podcast One, that just happened. Like, if I'd never went to Podcast One, it wouldn't have worked out that way. But it's all like, as a performer, like everything is reps, right? So like any amount of exposure you can have behind a mic or doing something or talking is helpful. Anyway, so it definitely helps me with my podcast be comfortable like saying stuff off the cuff, because I like rarely write episodes anymore. I used to like do scripted like motivational stuff. Now I just kind of like wing it. Yeah. And I talk for like a half an hour, and people really like those.
I liked when you would freestyle for a whole 15-minute episode. Stuff like that was fun. That was probably some heavy writing. And obviously the Superman Doctor Who audio drama.
Yes.
Huge fan of that. What were you going to say, Jeffrey?
I was gonna say I appreciate that Will just used a sports term, saying he was taking reps.
But that's a like working out in the gym term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not really sports
Push-ups.
as much.
It sounded like sports. I'm sorry. I thought
2
we could
sets,
be
15 reps each set. Come on.
And by the way, getting
8
back...
to 12 reps for size.
Rep
20,
range.
15 for
Hypertrophy.
lead. Yeah.
Getting back to free alcohol, Jeff Winstead adds that he has not had the bourbon yet. It's illegal for them to ship it across state lines or something.
Is it a German urban bourbon?
It's illegal.
Yeah, so he's going to have to basically drive to Texas to pick it up. So
see, it said smoking bandit.
I was exactly what I was about to say.
Just said that. I already said that.
Did you really?
Yes.
No. Hey, joining us in the chat now is Raging Rhino. Sorry, I'm late. Happy 300, gentlemen. And here's the best part: Coltrane is in the chat right now. So
Let's just have him.
chatting
Let's
it
just
up.
read. Let's just have him talk to us from the chat, and we'll just interpret what he's saying with different kinds of voices.
it depends on how long he wants to be there in the chat, but that might actually be a somewhat effective way to do this. In any case, it's almost like what we could do with Ken is he could watch the stream and then call me back when he wants wants to go back on the air, he'll be like, yeah, look, I took notes. Like the way that Red Eye with Greg Gutfeld used to work, that guy Andy Levy used to do a halftime report, and he took notes on everything, and it was really snarky, like comments. So Ken could almost just sort of, he could, come on as the ombudsman and just kind of give us an annotated rundown of everything that we talked about. On
As
the show.
long as the first words out of his mouth are first time, long time.
Yeah,
I'm good
that's
with
true.
it.
But it's not his first time. It's just long time.
I don't
Long
care.
time. Okay, you need him to say it. No problem.
First time, long time.
First time, long
So,
time.
yeah, but I think that we talked about this before too, but doing 300 Bladtcast means that obviously, I mean, oddly enough, I now co-produce but also co-host a show with Dennis Miller on Podcast One. So oddly enough, I would have ended up in the same place as you guys anyway, even if we hadn't kept in touch the last 3 years. And then it would have been awkward,
That's true.
Yeah.
it would have
And Coltrane says, I had so much material prepared for this show. It's all right. You're going to get to share it. It'll just be via speakerphone in a minute. So, and, maybe I'll hand it to Jeff because his hands are stronger than mine.
Is that a knock on the amount of masturbation I perform?
No, but now that you say it, yeah, probably.
Okay.
But that's the key, is that by doing the Bladtcast, you get to masturbate more. No, we've gotten to keep in better touch with each other. And Will lives very close physically to the studio.
Yeah.
And Jeff, you used to live close.
Yeah.
This used to be very convenient for you. It's not that far, but the best thing about where you live now is that very often there's some kind of aggravating traffic snafu that makes you late, and then that gives us like at least 8 minutes of content.
Right.
So I always find that that works. Anyway, but what we are going to do now is we're going to bring in an original Bladtcaster, on the Mount Rushmore of Bladtcast Nation, the one and only Coltrane, who I think will be able to hear me. But I don't know. Like, do I need to do this?
No, I think you should. I think it's fine.
So we'll see.
Hello.
Hey, listen, everybody, it's Coltrane.
What's up, guys?
So Coltrane, and as fun as this is for people watching to see the fact that I'm holding my phone up to a Bumblebee microphone as opposed to Bumblebee tuna.
Yeah. Your balls are
What do you think when you think of the fact that there are 300 of these Bladtcasts? What comes to mind for you immediately?
The whole scene from the movie 300 where the guy kicks the other guy into a pit. I feel like I'm falling into a pit.
Yeah, we are into a pit.
You got kicked
It's a
into the pit.
technological pit that I'm not quite sure how we can ever get out of. But what I would say, there's 300 Bladtcasts and not enough Coltrane in those 300. That's what I'm going to say.
No, that's true. And I'm sitting here thinking about it as you were talking about the Christmas extravaganza. I think that, since we didn't actually prepare anything at all this time, so that's why we're doing it this way, I might have to just fly out so I can actually be there for it, because that might actually work a little better.
I think that would be great. It's been a little while since you've been out here. I believe you ended up being here the week we recorded shows for my 40th birthday, which was a big surprise to me. That was a big showbiz moment, where all of a sudden that was like a Day of the Doctor moment. It was a big crossover with the Coltrane generation of the show. So I think you're due for a trip, is what I'm trying to say.
It's funny. I have actually I've been out there a couple of times, but it's only for 24 hours, so I couldn't even get to anybody to see anybody. But yes, I do need to come out there for a longer stretch. Yeah,
I mean, we only need 1 to 4.5 hours to do one episode, Coltrane. That's all we really need.
Wait a second. After 300 of these, you guys are going to sit there and say we only need 1 hour?
Well, I said 1 to 4.5. Somewhere in that range. I think that's our sweet spot.
If you had gone with 4.5 to 6, I feel like that would have been a little more accurate. But no problem.
Coltrane, I know that you are a huge fan of New England sports and, of course, the Red Sox. But are you very apprehensive to talk about their situation after last night, up 3-1 to the hometown Los Angeles Dodgers?
Not really. I feel pretty good about it. The situation is just odd because the entire time, as they won 108 games, and I still just thought they were kind of average. and they went up against New York, and I was like, I don't have a ton of faith in this one, but it's possible. Then they beat New York pretty handily. Then they go to Houston, and I was like, well, Houston is definitely better than them, and they handled Houston pretty convincingly. And then with this series, it's like they go up 2-0. Okay, great. Then there's like the overtime extravaganza that goes for like all night, and they lose. So it's like, wow, that's tough. But then they bounce back and they win last night. So I kind of feel pretty good about it, surprisingly. Like I'm not that apprehensive. I just kind of like them all now. So
yeah,
I have a little more faith.
And the Red Sox have this approach right now where they're like, oh, fuck you, we're not going to use our best pitcher tonight. We're just going to see what David Price comes out and does. And, well, if he shits the bed, it's fine. We have our good pitcher ready to go back in Fenway. But they're basically saying, you're not good enough that you need our best pitcher to work again this postseason. So we're just going to trot out David Price. But
I mean, I like that as if that was the actual approach, I would like it. Unfortunately, I kind of feel like the reality is more Chris Sale has been hurt for the last 2 months.
right.
And he actually needs the extra day. And them pitching David Price on 3 days is better for them than pitching Chris Sale on like full rest.
Right.
His arm still isn't right. But yes, I like the way that you thought about it better.
Well, and, I don't know if you had tuned in at this point, but I was sort of talking about the sort of very fair weather nature of Los Angeles as a sports city and the fact that tickets for tonight's game are on StubHub, and last night they were up there for about $150, which is only about a $500 discount from the game last night. So I think people were just like, oh, it's over. We're not going to go root on our team with our best pitcher going. We're just going to try and make some money from Red Sox fans who, got on a plane at Logan this morning so they could get out here in time to possibly watch the Red Sox clinch at Dodger Stadium. So it's an interesting, as somebody who's not really invested in it, except for the fact that I very strongly dislike Yasiel Puig. Other than that, I'm not that invested in what happens in the series. It's kind of been fascinating. My in-laws were at the 18-inning game, and you think they got home at like 2 in the morning, and they had left at like 1:30 in the afternoon because they took the metro. So, it's a little bit of a long day. So,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually made it to about the 16th inning, and then I was kind of wiped out, and I fell asleep. So
Yeah.
I didn't actually see the result until the next day. But like I said, it's like normally I would have been like, oh, here we go. Like they had the lead, and they lost it late. That's terrible. But it's like then, like I said, they bounced back yesterday, and they win pretty convincingly, despite their early inning struggles. And I just feel pretty good about them. So, which is nice too, because they've got a lot of players who are going to be up for contract extensions and stuff, and they're not going to be able to keep everybody. So this is the year to win.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Let me just sum up what he's saying. Hey, Jeff, you were right from that last time we recorded, and you said the Red Sox are going to win it all, and I said, no, we're not even going to beat the Yankees.
Wait, who said that? Did Ken?
Coltrane. We were on before the playoffs, and I said we're taking
right.
it all the way, and he said we're not going anywhere. So just go ahead and suck it.
What? Why doesn't have to suck it? He's a fan of the team.
Suck it.
No, good Lord.
This is the gay cast. Oh, whoops. No,
Not
wrong
anymore.
one.
Yeah, that word doesn't mean bad.
We don't use that word.
I
Yeah.
meant it's happy because we have such
It's
a
the
good
happy
time.
cast. And then Coltrane, we will, we'll let you go, and we'll get more organized notes and topics for a future Bladtcast since the the technological limitations that we do have here. How do you feel?
I mean, listen, I really I posted about the haunting of Hill House, and Will responded. I was all excited for it, and now nothing.
What did you write about?
The Haunting at Hill
Haunting
House.
of Hill House?
Yeah,
How is that? I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I've heard good things. I've seen the first
Absolutely
3
fantastic.
episodes.
Well, let that be your final thought. What did you just talk about? What's good about it and what you enjoyed about it?
I'm triggered by hills.
My initial comment on Twitter about it was just, in the current state that we're in, it's like everyone remakes everything. And I just feel like if you're going to remake something, like it should have like a point, like it should be worth it to do it. And this 100% was. Like the writing was good, the acting was good, the way the story played out was good. Like if you try to like sort of look for like more hidden meaning and sort of messages and themes behind it, all of it was there. So like everything about it, I just thought was fantastic. And I was, I was skeptical because everything was remade and everything sucks. And this, I just thought was so well done. And I was such a big fan of it. So, Haunting of Hill House, if you have a chance to check it out, you definitely should. Totally worth it.
Have you seen the new Halloween?
I have not seen the new Halloween.
All right. Well, Will and I will talk about that in a moment. Jeff, have you seen the new Halloween? Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about that. No, Ken, I'm going to leave you on the cell phone while I keep it propped up to the microphone, and we'll talk about a movie you haven't seen. No, we won't do that. But Coltrane, is there any one final thought that you would like to share with the nation, not Red Sox Nation, but Bladtcast Nation?
I wish I was there, and I wish I could participate with all of you a little bit more.
Well, we'll all be together in the very near future in a studio where the connection isn't so tenuous. But you know what? Maybe we'll just do this again for fun's sake, where I just keep the phone propped up. In any case, yeah, if you mean that you would like to come out here for Christmas time,
Pay for your ticket.
we will. What's that?
What?
No, we're going to do a Kickstarter for his
yeah,
ticket.
okay.
No, I'm not going to pay for it.
I will not be here for Christmas.
No, it's not going to be on Christmas. You're going to be gone the whole month of December, Jeff?
Christmas
Yeah.
morning here.
No, but maybe the week of Christmas.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't have time for you guys at that week anyway. My
Good.
kids will be home from school and all that
Fine.
stuff. Yeah. All right, but Coltrane, we'll have you back very soon in the next couple of weeks. It'll be a better connection, and we'll have a whole host of stories from the news to talk about with you.
I like it.
All right. Thank you, Coltrane, and that is, of course, Coltrane on Twitter at Coltrane Leaks. And we, of course, appreciate him taking the time. I think that looked great because I can watch. I have it on my screen here. It looks great. We got the phone right up there. But in all honesty, Jeff, as someone who, I mean, obviously you both do it, but Jeff, who has like a lifetime of audio production behind him. Sorry, Will, you're a little bit of a noob. The sound for that, not as bad. I mean, you would think like, oh, you're gonna hold the cell phone up to a microphone. You'd think it wouldn't. That sounded all right, right?
You'd think that I haven't had that exact situation happen in a lot of the professional ones that I've produced, but you'd be wrong.
See?
Would that be like podcasts that you're doing
big
currently?
money podcasts that love
Like the
to
Dennis
do
Miller option?
exactly what you just did.
Dennis does that.
We've not done that actually.
Well, he did host the show from his cell phone the first couple episodes.
That was Red Circle Sports, wasn't
right.
it?
Yeah.
This is a little different
Forgot
show.
about that. Forgot about the Switch.
Yeah, the show I do now is very different.
Yeah.
It's not really about sports. We do talk a little bit about sports.
Sure.
Anyway, Coltrane wrote in the chat that he loves us back. Very much he not us. He loves Uvula Scrimshaw, who says love Coltrane.
What the fuck?
He's
So-
just upset because I called him out for not believing in the Red Sox.
I think he
enough.
believes, but it's remember that song that Dennis used to always want us to play at like election time. You know that for people like us,
Oh, yeah.
in places like this, I still believe. You know.
I love that song.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know the name of it, but I do. I remember that song.
You've started doing the other podcast again, right? The Motivation Report.
Yeah, on and off a little bit. Not as consistent, but I'm just like busy, so I'm like, you know what?
Do you
get
have
the episode
300
when you get
episodes
one.
yet?
Do not. I have 59.
Oh, that's a lot less.
Yeah.
Sorry, does that mean you were out of beer? Is that what
That
you were trying?
does.
Yeah.
That also means you guys need to step up. Oh, yours is empty?
It is.
Well, you should have asked for a new one by now.
Yeah, I mean, I have
okay right
several, but not nearly enough. I don't know if the strawberry does the strawberry Abita
Strawberry Abita.
from Louisiana. Does that sound appealing? We also have Miller
try
Lite.
it.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's a pretty good one. I hope it's a twist off.
Yeah.
If not, you're gonna
Do you have a lighter?
I don't, but Will. Yeah, come on. Will's like, I'm a professional drinker.
There you go.
I'm good right now.
You don't want anything?
No,
Have you been
okay.
drinking all morning? Is that why?
I'm going hard this weekend, Christian.
Wait,
days.
you've been hard all weekend?
Yeah, rock hard.
Cialis.
And yes, Uvula Scrimshaw pointed out that band is called The Call. That does that
Oh.
song, I still believe.
Okay.
You've been hard all weekend.
Yeah.
And Coltrane, I'm so glad that he's still in the chat, points out that 69 would be better than 59, Will.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So I'll get to 69 and
him one.
stop.
Kind of.
So I can leave it there.
Yeah. And just be like, how many do you have? 69. So what you've been hitting it hard this weekend, and you don't mean the pud.
No.
You're talking about
Just partying.
you've been partying solo, you've been partying with ladies. Tell us more about that.
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are the ladies? Anybody we know?
Story last night was I'm basically operating on 1 hour of sleep.
Right now?
Uh-huh.
Is it because
I'm dying.
you were getting it?
I'm fucking dying.
Were you getting it all night?
No, actually, but we're just up till the fucking sun came up.
You
Like a group of
you
us.
should try this. It's
it good?
really fruity.
A group of us.
It tastes like fucking like.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, there it is. That is good. It's really good.
Hey, and Raging Rhino's drinking the blueberry from Abita because he's actually you're in
Abita.
Texas. While we listen to the call, Will, what? I was gonna have you talk over this.
Now this makes
You
me
have
wanna,
been in a
now I
cave,
have
right?
another beer. This makes me want the beer.
Yeah, see, this doesn't.
Yeah.
Because you still believe in
This'll do it
beer.
for you. I believe in the power to keep partying. Never turn it off.
Oh.
I kind of have to get to the chorus now. This is the worst part. But for those watching on YouTube, you're going to see Will opening a beer, having a. None of us are using our Bladtcast mugs, which, by the way, the Bladtcast t-shirts we're wearing.
Jimmy Kimmel thing. It's a for show.
The Bladtcast t-shirts we're wearing and the mugs, and the bell. There it is.
All for sale.
I
QVC.
still believe.
Call in now.
That's the thing is they're not. They're all thanks to Matt and KC, who's in the chat.
With logo
who
designed by my
does
friend Michelle
way
Kinney.
too much for us in terms of Bladtcast Nation, and we appreciate it. But we don't really give back, do we? Like when he was out here, I think we
We've
bought
given
him a
him
drink.
300 episodes of this show.
But we give it to everyone. The world can have these.
And they're fucking welcome for it.
All of them.
We I like beer. I still like beer.
I like beer.
Okay?
Okay.
Sometimes I
Senator,
have
do you
too
like
many
beer?
beers, but we give the people a good show.
Listen.
Okay? It's in my calendars. My voice is fucking shot. I was yelling all night last night. It was like a pub crawl for Halloween, and
I'll do what it takes, but I will not go ass to ass while a bunch of businessmen with flashlights shine them all over us. Okay?
So you would do
No,
anything for
God.
love, but
But
you
I
won't
won't
do
do
that.
that.
Okay, great.
That's right.
And Coltrane says, "Where the F is my shirt? I need your mailing address. Text it to me, and I will send it to you." I've actually meant to send Coltrane a shirt for.
I've got motivation report t-shirts.
He just said,
Might
"I
be
don't
easy by
want.
mistake.
I don't want that garbage." No, he did
that's
not.
fine.
He did not write that.
That's fine.
No, but he'll want one that's a commemorative
I'll cut the
69.
sleeves- I'll cut the sleeves off it. That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's true.
That's a motivation report tank
So
top.
Will, you're on 1 hour sleep right now? Yeah. What? And it's like not because you've been.
it's.
No, actually, no. I mean, there's fooling around, but like nothing insignificant.
I wish we could edit, so I could say things.
Jesus Christ.
You want to say a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, but you
I wanna
can't.
say-
But it's live.
Do you want to? How
Say-
about this? How about you text it to Will and I,
Yes.
and then we won't read it on air. Wink, wink. Won't read it on air. Wink, wink. So pub crawl for Halloween. That sounds like a fun thing to do that I
drink specials. You
would
know.
have done at a different time in my life, like a much different time in my life when I had 0 kids as
I'm
opposed
almost
to 2.
31.
Oh my God, so soon too,
It's like,
right?
it's too much for me now already.
By the way, Ken does also want a motivation report shirt, so we'll work that out
We'll do
together.
a package deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Does he want the sleeves cut off? Does he want to be cool?
I think he wants to cut his own sleeves
Okay,
off.
all right. I respect that.
Oh, we're getting a text now from you, Jeffrey?
I send it to Will.
Oh,
What?
It's up to him to share
What the-
his life.
So I'm not in on this. You guys are having. So I
Secret
it's a story that I will tell you after. But
I reject.
I'm not ready
you
to
guys
talk
having
about
secret.
it live. If we were recording this, like not live stream, it would be a different story because you could edit. But I can't talk about it.
This is the kind of content that Matt will get in his special bonus Matt only
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, we should definitely. Honestly,
as our one Patreon supporter without Patreon.
I'm totally down to do a Matt only episode.
Just Matt.
I'm not even kidding. We have to do
That's
that.
how we get back.
Yeah, that's a way
And
we
it's
get
the
back.
one episode that's only 5 minutes long.
No, it'll
I'm
be
kidding.
like 20.
Maybe
but-
that'll be the longest
I
one.
say,
we ever
Yeah,
did.
216.
Matt, hear me now.
Hear me now, believe me later.
Hear me now.
Send us like 5 things you want us to discuss for you, and we'll make this happen.
Wow. So he can craft the
Send us in
topics.
your thing, yeah.
Well, I want to.
here's another thing, too.
We're not limited to only those, but I want to know what Matt wants.
But here's
to know.
another thing. Would he like us to review a movie for him? Because my friend Roxy Stryer, who has been on the Bladtcast a number of times, she does do Patreon, and it works for her because, well, look at her. Of course, people want to support her in her career. No one wants to support me in my career. That's fine.
Stop it. I do.
Okay.
I don't want to give you money.
No, but emotional.
here for you.
Yeah. So that's one of the things she does. If you're a certain level,
Is there an emotional Patreon?
Yeah.
I think that there should be, but
It's called Twitter.
if you're a Patreon supporter of Roxy Stryer, you get to suggest a movie for her to review, and she will go and watch it, and she'll tell you what she'll film a little review of it. And Matt's very excited about this personalized Bladtcast.
Yeah.
He should be.
So I just want to end the show so I can hear your story that you can't tell, but I won't. I won't. So I guess we
partied
can't.
very hard.
You partied very hard. Now let's talk about the new Halloween, because Halloween is basically here, and I just saw it on Friday. Jeff, I know what Will thinks, and of course the audience does not. But give me your
Let me
thoughts.
tell you, because I told Will about this earlier. Let me tell you about my experience seeing the film first.
Okay.
Because it
It's interesting because
plays into my feelings on the film itself.
I also have an experience seeing it. Someone else who's in the theater that I will share when we talk about it. It's not a famous person. No.
Oh, okay. Well,
It wasn't.
Did you see it? Did you see it at the 8 in at the AMC 8 in Burbank?
I did not. I saw it at the AMC 16 in Burbank.
That's probably my mistake.
You still see all your movies pretty much at Burbank.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I see them there because I got that pass.
Yeah.
Plus, it's just like it's the easiest place to go to because I just shoot over Los Feliz to the
it's not that
5,
far. Yeah.
and then it's just like of the theaters that are in
one
that
exit.
same area, you might as well just go
So
to the
wait,
big one.
Yeah.
you don't go to that theater that's next to Fred 62 in Los Feliz? I believe it's called the Bedbug 4. You don't see movies there?
The Los Feliz 3?
Yeah. No,
I
not the Vista. That's a cool theater. I like
Los
the
Feliz
Vista.
3.
Yeah, the
Vista's
Bedbug 4.
The Vista's the one down on Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
I have never actually seen
Sunset.
anything there, but I drive by it a lot.
When Kill Bill was out, they had the the bright yellow like pussy wagon parked out there in
nice.
front of it during the whole run of the. At least I assume that's why it was
That's
there.
sick.
Maybe Bujenski was in town a little early at
You
that
guys
point.
have been to the New Beverly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Finally, the renovations are all
Wait,
going to be done.
no, that's not where we went to the New Art to see.
New art to see Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I have been to New Beverly. Yeah.
There was like I think it's affiliated with them. I went to this thing a few years ago. This is off topic, but I don't get to Halloween. I went to this thing.
No, Jeff, we never go off topic. You have to
Never
stay.
in our lives.
Yeah. Don't wait for the translation.
This is the kind of thing I think Will would love. It's like a overnight movie
I
marathon.
know,
Halloween
Oh,
movie
tell me more
marathon.
about this.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
went to one of those ones. It was sick. So they do all the like fun stuff in between, giveaways, like giving you candy and
I've always
food.
wanted to go with this. Saw it so fast.
They do like all the stuff that's become tradition. Like they show this stupid commercial where it's like a Days In or something. It's like the chances of me leaving this room are remote, and he's like got a remote and changes the thing.
love
But
it.
everybody in the theater goes like when he does that, it's like everybody's like
So-
chances are remote.
It's like
And they all
Rocky
sing
Horror
together.
Picture Show. Everybody, yeah, okay.
But you watch multiple movies. So the ones I saw there, like were like Hellraiser. I saw this old one with William Shatner from like before he was even on Star Trek, where it was really fucking weird.
Wow.
He did a movie that is in Esperanto, which is like a language that I think they thought. Is a language that they thought people were going to speak. It's like a made-up language. The whole movie's done
I
it.
don't believe it's a twist.
I think mine's not a twist
No,
off. Yeah.
it's-
Oh, we are none of the Adidas
None of
twist
them were
offs.
twist offs, so don't feel
I
bad.
was honestly just like embarrassed that I'm such a pussy that I couldn't open it.
I was like, did you get your shirt stuck in your zipper?
And by the way, I'm about to have a Christmas ale because you know what?
Oh.
Screw you, Halloween!
But
It's
nobody-
time now.
Nobody knows how old that Christmas sale is.
It's
probably last year?
2 Christmases ago.
It's a
but it's all right.
Nightmare Before Christmas beer.
Okay, so you went to the overnight. I want you to, definitely enjoy
So
the
I've
Christmas
seen
beer.
that before. That was really fun. I feel like that's something you guys would love.
I would love that.
Halloween. I'll jump to that. So Halloween, I went and saw it at the AMC.
Have a little Christmas
Have a
beer.
little Christmas spirit.
Because we need a little Christmas beer right this very minute. Yeah.
Yeah, you like what I did there?
Yeah.
So we
You
went-
really elfed that one.
I know, right?
Sorry.
went to
1 hour
an
of sleep.
11:30 p.m. showing of Halloween on a Tuesday night to get that $5 movie ticket deal. Went with a few friends.
We're 11 in the morning.
11 at night.
at night.
11:30 at night. Yeah.
Wait, 11:30 at night, movie's $5?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't stay awake that late, but that's awesome.
It's the Tuesday deal for like AMC whatever Prime.
Is it all day or is it just late?
It's all day.
Oh.
It's all day.
Oh, yeah, Tuesday, all day Tuesday.
Yeah. So I went. I got a few of my friends to go see it.
Wait, sorry, you have multiple friends that aren't us.
Yeah.
I knew you had that one guy who lives in Burbank.
So okay, let me actually
isn't
rephrase
you.
that. I bribed multiple people by buying their movie tickets to come see it with me.
Okay, fair.
True story. And so
I mean, Christian pays us to the Bladtcast. There's no reason we're still technically like friends.
I mean, I paid you in beer tonight.
$100,000 a year for this.
A lot of money. I don't know where it comes from. Heather's just killing it.
It's weird.
She's crushing it.
Crushing your career.
The joke is so inside that nobody really even remembers what that is.
No, Coltrane is watching right now.
That's
You
true.
probably laughed when he said she's really
Did I
crushing it
ever
in her
out
career.
who that person was? I don't think I ever did.
We've never actually said who that was?
No.
No, we didn't. That's right.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
No,
we're so many
this
levels
is-
in
yeah, this is
Inception
great,
right now.
Ken Watanabe is very upset with us.
Go ahead, right now.
It was Nicole's sister. my
Yeah, your ex-wife's sister,
Yeah.
who was crushing it in her career,
Bum,
and
bum,
she was what, like waiting for Peter Pan or something?
Waiting for
Hooking Peter Pan or
Hooking
something
Peter
like
Pan?
that.
He has
No,
some great
hooking
memories.
for Peter Pan? Wait,
for Peter
hooking?
Pan.
That's like Captain Hook. Anyway, yeah, so, but the blog is down, by the way. I have looked for it.
Of
I
course
think she
it's
took it
down.
down, which
Yeah.
is too bad.
Lame.
Because I should have done screenshots or something, you know, just to make sure that it was preserved forever. And yes, Ken did indeed appreciate. And you know what? Coltrane, you are also crushing it in your career.
Yeah.
All right, so you went to the 11:30
night.
showing
Went
of
to the
Halloween.
11:30 showing.
And look, this is relevant to Bladtcast 300 because it's at Halloween time.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not because we're disorganized and drinking beer in the middle of the day on Sunday. Okay.
What's wrong with that?
This is
Okay,
totally
it's-
legit.
It's football Sunday. This is what
It's-
all
yeah,
of America
the rest
is
of the
doing.
He's
Too
been doing it since
legit.
Too
Too
quit.
legit to quit. All right.
Cut
it out.
DJ Tanner.
DJ.
Good.
So it's 11:30 on a Tuesday.
That's my favorite Billy Joel song. It's 11:30 on a Tuesday. Regular crowd shuffles in. I know it's Halloween they're going to see because Jeff's cutting himself. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh God.
I know. It's like you're like
It's so funny. Sorry, that was weird.
that was a little weird.
It's
It was a little weird, right? Yeah, a little bit.
11:30 on a Tuesday.
11:30 on
Halloween.
11:30 at night on Tuesday. Go
Yeah.
to see Halloween. And
Yeah.
so I have paid a grand total of $15 for me and 3 other people to go see this film,
Okay.
which is fantastic.
The payment
The payment was
is
fantastic.
fantastic. Yeah.
Go sit down. We're like relatively close up. And then we run into one of those situations where people are now showing up for the movie when the movie's already started, and there's people in their seats that they've got to
Excuse
assign.
me. I'm in G23.
Yeah.
Now, important question. Is the theater full? Because if the theater's full, you do need to actually like, no, that's my seat. I can't just sit somewhere. Because when I went, there were people in my seat. I just sat on the other side of the aisle. It was like, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Good point. It is relatively full in the sense of it's not wide open. So it's more of an inconvenience. However, it's not
You
so
sound like you
packed.
just started getting drunk like 60 seconds ago.
I'm trying to like avoid the burp, right?
Yeah. You're like, sit down. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to sit in the front. All right, Foster Brooks, go on.
So basically, it's just one of those situations where there's enough places to sit,
Yeah.
or just it's not worth it. So, anyways, so movie's now started. We get these first group of people basically like, you're in our seats, and it's like everyone's like, yeah, okay, we get that. But then it keeps going, so it's like everyone starts being like, yeah, shut up. And then the
Yeah,
guy's
we're
like,
watching the movie, yeah.
The guy's like, they're in our seats. It's chaos. Literally says
It's
it's
chaos.
I
chaos.
love that he said this word. When
Yeah.
Jeff told me this story earlier today, he said the guy said it was chaos. I was like, he
Yeah.
really said that this is chaos.
By the way, just Google chaos. Was that chaos?
Yeah.
Sir,
Professor
was
Chaos?
that?
I have to watch it
Professor
from
Chaos.
a 23-degree angle instead of a 24. This is unacceptable.
I mean, I'm down with that.
I got it.
Yeah.
Soaring over
feel you,
California,
bro.
soaring over the world. Do not sit on one side.
Yeah.
It's not enjoyable. Sorry.
So first the one guy's complaining, and then it's just like everyone's like, "Hey, shut the fuck up." So then it's like he quiets down, but he's still like huffing and puffing, and it's just like, you know, so we're still shushing him, but it's not too bad. Then we get into the movie. We're still like 15 in, and then one of this group of people essentially decides that it's not okay, so they go out and find an usher to bring them in to try to move the people from their seats. Then the people who are asked to move decide that that's just like total bullshit, so they need to start talking more and calling the other people assholes and talking. Everyone in the theater is saying shut up, to the point where it's like people on the other side of the theater are yelling like, shut the fuck up! Like, shut the fuck up! And it just keeps going. So then it's like the original group of people that were sitting in the wrong seats start calling the other people asshole, but are like yelling it. So then the usher's like, cool, so leave now. You're not welcome here anymore. You've lost your ticket and everything else. Like, get the fuck out. So then they usher that person out, and then they're making the people, one of the groups of people move, and it's like this guy, the father of that family, like, you're making a family of 5 move. And it's like, up 1 row. Like, shut the fuck up. This is so not hard. This is so not worth the amount of disturbance to everyone else who's paid for their ticket and is just trying to fucking enjoy the movie. Yeah. You think you need to ruin it because you're not sitting exactly where you wanted to sit. Like,
and a family of 5, like, it's not like he took his fucking kids to go see Halloween.
He did. There's literally children in the theater at 11:30 at night. A child in this group. And then what's worse is that same group. And now this is the part where it was like we ran into one of those awkward situations where I felt like we handled it appropriately, which is like we kind of dialed it back, but made it very obvious that we were like really uncool with what's happening. That family now moves up to literally right behind me.
Okay.
And the girl who's sitting right behind me is like some kind of mentally retarded, something's going on.
We don't call them that anymore. We call her Riri.
I didn't call her retarded. I said mentally retarded, which is actually the more appropriate way of saying.
Is that now?
Are you saying that she was flame retardant?
Yes.
Okay.
So there was just something going on with
this is the clip for when Jeff runs for Congress that they isolate and show on MSNBC. Yeah, this is the one.
It's over.
She had a little bit of a froggy voice, which was weird. But like,
could you do an impression for Bladtcast? Okay.
I will.
Okay.
But the problem is that it's like she wouldn't stop talking. It was constant, like, hey, what's that? Who's that? What's going on?
She sounds like Beetlejuice.
It kind of sounds like Beetlejuice. Kind of sounds like an Eric Cartman. Like, no joke, early seasons Eric Cartman. What the fuck?
You don't want cheesy poof?
Yeah.
Yeah, kitty. This is my pie.
Beefcake! So
we'll just do that for the next 40 minutes.
Oh, I've heard that in so long.
But it's like she's keeps talking, and so it's like, you know, start off, don't realize anything's up with her. So it's like the first thing is just like a shh, and then it's like the half turn to like shut the fuck up, until I like turn and fully realize what's going on. So then I'm like, oh, I can't like curse at you,
be upset,
but I still need to tell you to be quiet, because here's the thing, like, I think it's unfortunate that not everybody can enjoy the movies. But like, for example, I went to a movie years ago on Christmas Day, and a woman enters the theater in a wheelchair who has Tourette's, and throughout the rest of the movie screams, makes noise, talks like Tourette's style. And I'm like, look, I get that that's really unfortunate, and it's really a shame that you have to live with that. But here's the thing, you don't have any, like, there's nothing that says you deserve to then come to a movie. Like, you don't have a right to go to the movies. And here's what, I'd be happy for you to go to a movie as long as it's relatively empty and you're not disturbing anybody. But when you go to a literally packed screening on Christmas Day and then you're yelling and making noise the whole time, it's like, you're just fucking over everybody else, because in your mind, it's more important that you get to feel normal and go to a movie than just watch it at home and ruin the experience that all those other people paid for.
I would like to respond to that as a drunk girl from a party. Hang on a second.
Go on.
Oh, so nothing says that she has a right. I'm pretty sure that we have a Bill of Rights in this country still. Don't we, Jeff? Jeff, don't we? Don't we have a Bill of Rights in this country?
In the Bill of Rights, it says you can't yell fire in a movie theater, which this Tourette's lady
might
but what
if you get fired in a movie theater? Did you ever think about that?
Then you'd say fired, not fire.
Probably true. Okay, go on.
No.
Fired.
Just my point being is like
look,
I get that it's shitty. That's why we dialed it back. That's why we like dealt with it for the most part. But it's just like, that's your family, so just make decisions that are conscientious of the other people in the world other than your family, right? Like, don't go see a movie that's still in relative opening week, that's very popular.
That's your children.
What was the movie? Because I bet you remember, right?
The other one that I saw?
The Christmas Day, yeah.
Unbroken.
Oh, okay.
So not Unbreakable, but Unbroken.
Unbroken.
Yeah.
The one with that kid, he's like British actor, where he was playing a U.S. Marine.
Yeah.
That was on. Yeah. So that's my thing. I'm just like, look, it sucks. My heart goes out to those people. Like, I don't get mad at them specifically, but I am like, that's really unfair. That's not fair to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to fuck your day up. I wouldn't go to like your thing and try to mess it up. I would be conscientious of the fact, like, hey, I've got a really bad. If I had a really bad cough or like a cold or something, I wouldn't go to the movies because you know who I don't want to hear every 5 seconds in the movie. Fuck, just stay home. I'm sorry you have a cough. Deal with it.
Fast forward to the next time we're all at the movies together. I sit next to Jeff. I cough on his
Even if you don't,
popcorn.
like, just cough on
I
purpose.
cough on his popcorn. He flips me over the seat in front of us and eats his popcorn.
At the movies today, Jeff left a half uneaten bowl of popcorn.
Are you okay, buddy?
Yeah.
First the cutting, and then you stop. No, is everything okay?
I was like, what the fuck?
Everything all right?
I'm on drugs.
Okay, sure.
And they
sure.
reduce my appetite.
Okay, fair enough. So
That's why kids, you should kids. That's why you should kids. That's why you should just say no to drugs.
Yeah.
Don't take drugs.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I want to talk about the movie itself, but I want to also make sure that we've gotten through the.
Basically, it was just there was lots and lots of talking.
Because I want to talk about my theater as well before we
Yeah.
even get to the movie. So
I had ushers coming in yelling behind me to the point where I got 2 free movie passes for this movie,
shit.
and everybody in my group got 2. So end result is I got 15 movie passes for 15. Or sorry, 13 movie passes for $15.
I was gonna say. So wait a minute. You paid for everything, so you should get the movie passes as well.
I said that, but I also laughed about it and just let the other guys keep it.
Push over. What? Oh no, that's cool. That's cool. That's a good friend.
But I'm just saying, I
You
paid.
just said that
I
'cause you
paid.
want one.
I paid $15 and I got 13 movie passes out of it. That's pretty fucking dope.
That is pretty good. So at my movie theater, there was somebody who, was all right, but just you could tell like a little emotionally, a little askew. But it was a Friday, 11:50 a.m. Okay, so the exact opposite day part of you, and this was the AMC 8, so it's like a small theater.
Yeah.
I know that not everybody, that almost no one watching
I've been
knows
there.
the difference. But yeah, it's one with the nice like recliner chairs, and what he would do is he would laugh uncontrollably at things that definitely weren't funny. And like you could tell he wasn't like, if I did that in a movie, it's just because I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, like if it was like something just really emotional, I'd be like, I would do like the Ray Liotta from Goodfellas. Like I just wouldn't stop until somebody asked me to leave. But this was just like, that's just who he is. But then like it also, he would yell about what was happening. So big spoiler for Halloween, there's a babysitter who gets killed in it.
Whoa.
As soon as that girl was
You shut your
babysitting,
mouth.
as soon as the girl was babysitting, you're like, oh, that's so bad. That's too bad she's going to die.
Yeah.
But he's like, ha ha ha, take that, bitch. And I'm like, whoa, you went from crazy.
He wants to be Michael Myers.
Kind of.
Take that, bitch.
Yeah.
That means he empathizes with the serial killer, not with the people who are being
I mean, I
murdered.
empathize for Michael because he wasn't treated well. You know, it didn't seem like, but
Agree to disagree.
Well, it
Seemed
counts. He had a
got-
fine childhood.
he got that whole square out in the yard that
Yeah.
he could stand in.
But it's like he gets that square on top of everything, on top of apparently a second doctor who's so fucking like psychologically like attached to him.
We'll
that
talk
he's
about
willing
that
to-
doctor in a moment. Yeah. So this just throughout the whole movie, and it's just like, okay, no one's gonna say anything because obviously there's something that's, you can tell there's something wrong with the guy, and like he's with somebody. And so, like, he'll talk to his buddy in that voice, like, "Oh, did you see that?" Or, "Wait, who's that? What's happening?" It wasn't like throughout the whole movie.
Did the buddy at least like shush him a little? Like,
I think he just answered him quiet in the way that, like, that would probably help. He probably knows from experience where if you
this
say
comes from.
like, "Hey, you should probably be quiet." Why do I have to be quiet?
that's literally what that girl did. Was like we'd shush her, and she would turn to the people next to her and be like, "They're making noise. Why do I have to be quiet?" And it's like, Cartman, shut up.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Why do I have to be quiet?
So let's bring it around to the movie. Will, you just saw the movie and you didn't have any antics in the theater, it sounds like, right?
No, it was
Because you went to your theater in North Hollywood?
No, I saw it when I was in Utah.
Oh, see, that's the difference.
Yeah. But there was a
So,
girl.
so it was empty and being protested outside by Mormons?
Yeah. There was a girl to our left that would like pretty regularly be like, "Oh no!" Like,
Oh, that's
all those kind of things.
yeah, like no.
And then my friend Kelly, who I was there to visit, his sister-in-law.
Salt Lake City Green Arrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
just
just
Green
get
Arrow.
name drop it at SLC Green Arrow.
His sister-in-law would periodically be like, "Oh." But that was
Well, that's just because you were fingering her. I'm sorry, that's terrible. I can't believe I said that about your friend's sister-in-law. But the sound you made, I had to. No?
Yeah, nobody wants butter
okay.
and salt in the cooch, okay?
Oh,
Is that the title of Bladtcast 300? I don't think it could be. Well, you know what? Will, I'm sorry I said that. We'll just fix it in post because it's not like this is live.
Right.
Anyway, so the movie itself, here's what I'll just sort of do like a blanket overall statement, is that it's not terrible. It's not particularly good. It's not the worst Halloween movie for sure.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure which one is. Is there just like a 6 or is H2O 6?
There's a 6.
Yeah, it's 6. 6 is the one with Paul Rudd.
Yes.
Is that Resurrection?
That's not Resurrection. It's technically number 8.
I'm confused.
Well, they kind of rebooted
I'm
it
confused.
with H2O.
There's one. I have to like read the descriptions. There's one that I feel like if I read the description, I'm like, oh, that's the worst one.
Did you know that originally Halloween was not supposed to be just about Michael Myers? It was supposed to be like each Halloween film would be a different person's story.
Yeah,
And is that why
Anthology.
Halloween 3
That's
is...
why it's that way, because they went back to what they were trying to do.
By the way, it's 3. Is it 3 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock? We could do a sing along later at the end of the show.
And that's that same guy, and ended up creating Trick or Treat, which was the original idea essentially.
Right.
Trick or Treat, that movie.
Yeah.
Is what he
Which, by the
originally
way-
kind of intended Halloween to be, like an anthology of different people's stories on Halloween night.
Trick or Treat came up on the Bladtcast like
Wait.
just a couple weeks ago.
My understanding was that every year it was a new Halloween themed movie, but it was all linear. It was all like Season of the Witch, where it's like just an independent film, but it's not a.
It's not a continuation of that universe.
No, but it's also not a like what's the word? All
Anthology?
little anthology scenes where they all weave together
not, like,
Trick or
canon?
Treat. No, it was like Trick or Treat. Michael's already just like had his own thing, and it was
Yeah.
like an anthology that way. John Carpenter wanted every Halloween, every year to release a Halloween movie, but it's like Season of the Witch, and then it's some other scary movie story, and then it's some
But
other scary
then
movie story.
the original Halloween was too successful, and they were like,
Well,
"No,
yeah.
we just want Michael Myers
Yeah,
again."
yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and I think in general, I would say that Jamie Lee Curtis was very good.
Sure.
I just wish she could have been very good in a better movie. I believe that's exactly what I texted to Will. You know, a better script. She could have been just as good in a better movie.
Sure.
She's good in this movie. It's fine.
She could be great in a better movie.
I don't love discounting all the other, like, discounting all the reboots and the reboots of the reboots. Like, don't discount H2O. I liked H2O.
But did you notice that they took elements from
Yes.
all the best elements from all the previous sequels?
There were little things in there, like
Maybe not the best, but little homages.
just little
to
homages, which I
everything.
thought was good. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. It was a little. I don't know. There were definitely times. Here's what I have to say, just as like a dad, and I'm old. The fact that Michael just wanders through the house and doesn't even pay any notice to the crying baby. I'm like, okay, good. Thank you.
decides not to
By the
kill
way,
the baby.
thank you for that,
Yeah.
because I was just like, I'm not gonna walk out.
Originally,
but-
there was supposed to be a man sleeping on a couch in the house, and he was actually not going to kill him either. But that featured extra, whoever it was, didn't show up to set that day, and they had to change it last minute. So
was that you, Will? Were you supposed to be the featured extra?
Yeah.
Because you were drunk.
It almost seems like uncharacteristic. The whole like, because if it had just been a man in the couch and he just passed him up because he's like boring,
Yeah, well,
that would have been to me more in line with Michael Myers, where it's like he's just a
That
psycho.
was why
There's-
that was the original idea.
There's
There's
no
no rhyme or
rhyme or
reason.
reason, but the not killing a baby seems more purpose driven. It
Right.
seems more like, oh, I've got a line.
But it's no, but it's also like, oh, it's uncorrupted. It's a pure. You know what I mean? I think
But-
like a lot of people that he kills, on some level, he's like, well, obviously they deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, because there are other times where, like, trick or treaters that like grab him or something and then get scared and run away. He doesn't like then hunt them down. So there's some level, you know. And the little boy in that house where he kills the babysitter, he doesn't kill that. That little boy successfully gets away. If
That
he,
little boy is the best part of the movie.
he was pretty great actually.
Like,
Like,
You need to go upstairs because you're about to die.
yeah.
Bye.
No, Dave, you go first. She's too pretty. I'm doing a voice. I just realized I'm doing a voice. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. That's we're gonna blame this.
Blame it on the.
We're gonna blame a poo. Anyway, and then Will, just sort of an overall, thought on this.
Yeah, I mean, I had kind of told you this similar thing, like when I saw you a podcast one, I think like right before you went to see it, which was that I was like, I enjoyed it. It's entertaining, but it's not great. And I was just like, okay, like, I don't need them to keep. To me, it's like the Force Awakens of horror movies.
Which
So
is
it's like,
which is a great observation. I'm
Yeah.
glad you remembered.
you're
that,
like,
yeah.
let's just take all of the homages and references that people be like, oh, isn't this cool? Instead of actually something that has real substance. It's like the flashy thing that reminds people of like the thing that they like, which is what The Force Awakens is, which is like, remember this?
Which is
here it is again, but updated.
Which is why I said at the time, like, I enjoy The Force Awakens, but it's definitely the Dane Cook of Star Wars movies.
sure.
This is the Dane Cook of hard movies. Hey, remember this thing?
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? Let me talk more about this thing.
The same shot of her in the classroom and then Laurie outside.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this. Stop being so referential. I get it. Like, you want to be reverend? Yeah.
Reverential?
Referential.
Reverend Horton Heat. I believe that's what you want to say.
You want to pay
Homage.
tribute and homage and be respectful of the thing. But I think...
But I hate people when they say homage. I just wanted to go on record.
Who says homage?
People say, instead of homage, people will say homage and not get corrected for it. And I think this is the time we're doing a public service right here on Bladtcast 300. If
Sounds
you say
like
homage,
a bunch of homos.
We keep going. We keep pulling on that thread.
just dancing close to it.
Look, we all know I'm a racist, so
That's true.
We did establish that in Bladtcast 299.
We did, yeah. You
that's
are
true.
racist.
Yeah.
I would love to see it go in a new direction. So
You want to see racism go in a new direction
Yes.
or Halloween?
yeah.
reverse racism.
Okay.
No, we should be speciesist. We should all just start being racist towards animals.
And Jeff, your thoughts on
happens
Halloween?
anyway.
I have like one final thought on the movie, and then we'll move on because we have
enjoyed it.
requests for topics in the chat. So.
For sure. I'll just keep it real brief. I enjoyed it. I'm not like a horror movie buff, so I had very little like investment in
Sure.
it. So I was basically like, oh, it was good because I liked the visuals. I liked that there was a lot of visual stuff that reminded me of the original film. I liked the style of the shots in the movie, like when you got that really wide shot when he's in that courtyard, and it's a little like disorienting because you've got the kind of checkers, but it's at an angle.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good shot. I thought there was a lot of little stuff like that, like the when he goes and grabs the hammer and kills that one lady. I thought those little stuff like that. It's to Will's point. It's like, yeah, it's clearly just like servicing the fans.
The guy in
but I
that
appreciate
the
it.
guy in
That's
the
all I
Michael
wanted.
Myers mask in that scene was the guy who was dressed as Michael Myers in the original Halloween. The
you
scene
go.
with the hammer, like that's him. I don't know the names because I'm not
Nick
that.
Castle. Not Frank Castle. Nick Castle.
I'm so excited. I'm like, wait, the Punisher was
His
dressed as
brother,
Michael
his brother
Myers.
Nick.
Yeah. So I thought it was all right. There were definitely, you see the producer credit and a co-writing credit from Danny McBride. You have a couple of moments of like peanut butter on the dick and stuff, and you're
Yeah.
like, Danny,
I didn't-
like just
yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like we get it. Like you probably think that's super hysterical.
Right.
Guess what? It's not.
Right.
This is the guy who made Your Highness. So like, don't just think that you get to do whatever you want.
From the guys who brought you your highness. Halloween.
And so here's the spoilery thing that I'll say.
Halloween.
Oh, I like that. Oh my God, we have
Michael Myers just goes around smoking
so
mad.
we have
blunts.
368 days to get that movie made for next year. Halloween.
Halloween.
Or wait a minute, could we just ditch that premise and just get Tommy Wiseau for Halloween?
Oh.
Just a thought.
Halloween.
Just a thought. So there's a like
Just have him play the Joker, but like in Halloween.
Yeah.
Right? Like he did Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
Have him playing that exact character, but in the Halloween situation. So it's like he's going to murder people, and where he should be silent, and like that's the scariness. He's just talking the whole time, like incessantly. You're like, Michael, you're killing me just by how much you won't shut the fuck up.
Michael.
I have an idea for like crazy story about a guy who kills other people.
How about Tommy Wiseau shows
Yeah.
up to set for Halloween, but he's playing Michael Myers, the comedian. So he's like, I show up to set. I am ready, baby.
Yeah.
He's groovy.
It's psychedelic, baby. So there's like a moment where like, I didn't love the movie, but there's a moment where the doctor, this is again spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay. The doctor puts on the mask and you're like, no.
So funny. It's hysterical.
Like, you don't like, it doesn't fit with the rest of the movie from the moment after he puts it on.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you just did that for that moment. And I even texted Will about this. This is Will, you always on the podcast, you talk about the guy.
Yeah.
The guy in the room who's like, sure, okay. Hey, one thing, guys, let's just not do that. I get it that you think that's a cool moment, but then it doesn't work.
It's not that. Yeah.
So, and I was like, well, that guy didn't do his job then.
It was so obvious that from the minute you met the doctor,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you're going to do something really stupid to protect Michael.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, of course.
From the minute you met him, you were just like, you clearly... I think that's the problem with this movie, is there's a lot of situations that it's like, if you don't look into it too hard. If you just like let the movie happen, it can be more enjoyable. But there's too many things that are so clear if you've seen enough movies to be like, oh, cool, what an establishing shot for what we know is definitely going to happen next. It's like, oh, we meet the doctor, and he doesn't condemn him ever. He just says how fascinating he is. I wonder if that doctor is going to end up doing something like a double cross at some point.
Right.
So, I don't know. I would say people who love the Halloween movies and really are attached to Michael Myers, sure, go see it. But it's not like... I don't even know where I would put it in my list. It's like if years from now, it's like, okay, if you're going to watch Halloween movies, this is pretty far down on the list. Like, honestly, I would say just watch the first one and the third one and then, sit on it. And just think about if you want to watch more.
Those three are always the best.
Those two are really where it's at. And 3 is really helped by the fact that it's a separate story.
Yeah.
I mean, just...
I really like number 3.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about that, and Halloween's coming up, and Will, you had a Halloween party last year, not this year?
Not this year.
You're going to go out? You're going to go dressed as anybody? You do the pub crawl. Were you in costume?
Yeah.
As Freddie Mercury again? Or?
No, John Bender from The Breakfast Club.
So not as... what is the guy's name? Rami Malek? Rami Malek as... See, that would be a good costume.
Yeah,
you could be
Inception.
Mr. Robot as...
Oh, shit.
As... I almost said Frankie Valli.
As Society, yeah.
As Frankie Valli. Yeah.
So just like a cardboard robot who's also singing Queen.
Yeah.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah, Mr. Robot.
So just be like a...
all right, so we have some...
Humans aren't dead.
Jeff, what are you doing on Halloween?
I don't know. Working? Yeah, masturbating.
That sounds good. Well, it's a great sound.
Abating. Abita.
And
Abating.
I will be trick-or-treating with children, and that's not creepy because I have a kid, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
So I have a kid. It's fine.
How much better would it be if you were like, I'm going trick-or-treating with children's, not mine.
Yeah.
Can I come trick-or-treating with you and like push the kids out of the way and be in the front?
Absolutely. That would be very much welcome.
They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. They love that stuff in the Valley. All right, so we have a request for topics from the chat. Matt and KC, who is our unofficial Patreon, or patron, but I just call him a patron.
Patron?
Yeah. He wants to know the status of Cactus Dave. And we all know Cactus Dave is our old friend Liev. Yeah. And Cactus Dave is the solo host on the morning show now over there at Go Country. Mm-hmm. And because I don't know what Graham went on to do, but he went on to do something else. I forget.
Crackers, I believe.
Are you serious? Graham Crackers.
A minute for you to figure it out.
That's my fault. Walked into that one.
It took me a lot. It took me
Sometimes the jokes are just too good. They're too smart for me, and I can't figure them out. All right. So that's he's doing really well. He still has events. We were supposed to have a day with him.
Yep.
And he reconfirmed like a couple weeks out, and then it came around, and he's like, yeah, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So we want to get out to Hermosa, have a Bujenski day. I want to set up the laptop and do like a Google Hangout sort of on the YouTube page, but hasn't happened yet. And then
I wanted to see you playing Spider-Man.
You want to see? Oh, the video game Spider-Man. I thought you meant like in the suit. Like,
well, that too. You have to play Spider-Man as
That's
Spider-Man.
fine. I mean, I got no problem with that. And by the way, for Graham Crackers, Coltrane says, good one, EO. And Matt and KC says, wow, Jeff, that was on point.
Wow.
See, this is what happens when we have the live chat.
The jokes are so good. We want some more.
Yeah.
Oh! Look at that.
Look at that. But he also wants to know our thoughts on the cancellations of Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Will, you have not seen season 2 of Iron Fist, but I swear to you.
Now I probably won't.
I know, but I swear to you, you will enjoy it more than you think you will.
I'm going to watch Daredevil.
That's fine. Daredevil is very good. By the way, shameless plug. I am on the official. See, now we're on camera.
Yeah.
I can. Ready, camera one, take one. I am on the Daredevil after show here at AfterBuzz TV. We've already done episodes 1 through 4, and then tonight at 8 Pacific. And that's Sunday, October 28th. We will do episodes 5 through 8. So we did 1 through 4, 5 through 8, and then 9 through 12 next week, and then a whole episode for the standalone season finale. So please check that out. It's a good chat. I'm on the panel with our friend Zia Anderson, who talked Iron Fist with Jeff and I just a few short weeks ago. And Coltrane gives you credit, Will, with the assist. See, this is why we need the live chat.
Yeah. Yes.
it's not that difficult that when we record in general, we could just do this, but I think it loses some of the charm. But maybe if Coltrane comes out and by comes out, I mean, lets us know what we've all suspected, that he's all man. That's right. He comes out of the man closet. That's what I'm saying.
This is a very gay-centric episode. There's a lot of
What do you mean this one is?
So it's basically like we're all just drinking and trying to avoid saying what I said that one time.
Yes, the one thing. So we'll do
one thing,
if Will, Jeff, and myself are joined by Coltrane, we'll do it in front of cameras somewhere, maybe from outside. I don't know. But
Wait,
anyway,
what are we doing in front of cameras? The hangout?
no, Human Centipede.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's what I
that's
thought.
cool, right?
We're gonna get snow.
No problem with that. Yeah. By the way,
Dibs on front.
I was gonna say I
Fuck
was
yes.
actually gonna say I don't want to be the front, so that works out really well.
I have no ass on my mouth.
Yeah,
I
you want to be
win.
the front? That's.
Do
I'm
you
fine with
win?
that.
No, I think you lose. Actually,
I only have mouths on my ass.
well, I only have ass
Single
for
mouth.
you. Anyway, so very disappointed because of the fact that season 2 of Iron Fist was so strong and it ended so strong. I found that to be very upsetting just because of the fact that there's such great potential from the way that the season ended, which we won't talk about, but just in general. Yes, Jeff.
Correct. However, this is something that I don't know if they've said one way or the other. I'm trying to look at this from an optimistic standpoint of like, cool, we've just paved the way for Heroes for Hire.
Yeah, we talked about
Disney
that
streaming
on
platform.
one of the other shows that I can promote, Marvel TV Weekly, Sundays at 10 Pacific on AfterBuzz TV. But I don't know that it's going to happen. I think they might just cut ties with it. Much more surprised. The first season of Iron Fist was very much something that people didn't like. I was fine with it. I really like Danny as a character. I like Iron Fist historically, whatever. In general, people didn't like it. I get it. It probably wasn't long for this world after season 1 was poorly received. Yeah. But very surprised that Luke Cage would not be moving forward, as Luke would say.
Very upset.
Will, your thoughts when you heard that?
Very upset. Love Luke Cage.
Jeff?
Agreed. I was surprised with both of them. I felt like there was such a drastic improvement coming into the second season of Iron Fist that it just seemed like, oh, so you're going for a second one after that first season of bullshit you did, but after you figured it out, you're like, nah, fuck it.
I also feel like there's a chance, and I can talk to you guys off camera, some rumblings that I may have heard about Luke Cage, but I think that they were definitely going to cancel Luke Cage, but to cancel Luke Cage, you have to cancel Iron Fist first, because you can't be like, oh, so you cancel the show with the brother, but Iron Fist, who everybody hates, is still out there. And, I think that they had to get rid of it. So,
Okay.
yeah. But very disappointing. And I would like to think that Disney streaming service that's coming up would maybe, if they don't revive those series, if they do use those actors as Power Man and Iron Fist, Heroes for Hire, or they just want to give us a Daughters of the Dragon series with Colleen and Misty and, possibly other characters as well. Great. All in on all that. All sounds great. I am just afraid we won't actually get any of it. Right. And that, I don't know. It's a bit of a bummer because, look, if we're going to be perfectly honest, if after the season 2s of all the shows, I would have canceled Jessica Jones. It wasn't a great season 2. I didn't hate it.
Of all the seasons 2s, that was the weakest one.
It was definitely the weakest one.
Of all 4 shows, season 2, it goes like season 1 best season, maybe Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
She might have had the best premiere season, and then worst season 2, Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Worst season 1, Iron Fist. Most improved, Iron Fist.
Yeah. So, and then we're still going to get a season 2 of The Punisher because they filmed it. They finished filming it over the summer, so we know we'll get that. I haven't seen the end of Daredevil because I'm on this after show. I'm actually sticking to just watching the ones we're going to talk about because for Iron Fist, I just powered through it that weekend and I couldn't stop. I did, and I couldn't stop myself. I had to stop myself, but I was like, I really want to talk about that crazy ending, which we've talked about on the Bladtcast.
I have not watched a lot of Daredevil because there's so much shit going on recently, right? World Series.
Yeah, true. That's true.
And then work and everything else. They've been a lot going on. I feel like normally they've been better about releasing their seasons when there's
around your schedule.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just for me, it's worked out where I'm like, I've got a lull. This is the perfect time to watch this bullshit.
Exactly.
But Daredevil came out and I've been like, oh, this is one I really wanted to see, and I have just not had time to watch it.
You haven't seen any of Daredevil. It's great so far. How many of you seen? Will? Jeff, sorry.
I think I've seen 3 or 4 at least.
Yeah,
and it's what
great.
I've seen so far. It's been fantastic. I haven't seen enough to see. So there's like Bullseye's in it.
Yeah.
And the guy that they have playing Bullseye, I'm enjoying.
Colin Farrell.
I'm enjoying.
No, I wish.
I'm enjoying him moving his eyebrows back and forth as a version of acting.
Oh.
Yeah, the actor that they have cast as him is great. I actually thought when the season started that it was a different character. You know who I mean, the character that we first meet in the FBI. I thought he was going to be Bullseye. I'm like, well, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But then you meet this guy, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And that character only gets better and more interesting. And honestly, Vincent D'Onofrio is the Kingpin. If they wanted to sit him at a table and have him read the Yellow Pages as well, great. I'll watch 13 hours. I will easily watch 13 hours of that. Like, I'm not even joking. I would love to watch 13 hours of that.
I know that this is just going to get me laughed at. However, cameo by Vincent D'Onofrio in BoJack, where he's playing... he's like either playing a BoJack or like some kind of character, and it's actually Vincent D'Onofrio voicing himself in this episode.
Oh, I like it.
And he literally says, "This D'Onofrio has had enough Rio," and leaves set.
That's so good.
That's fantastic.
I knew people that worked on Law and Order Criminal Intent. He's apparently, let's just say, very intense and maybe difficult.
That's what I hear.
But
isn't that
I've never had to
what
work
you feel
for
about every single character or method actor or whatever?
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the case. You know, Daniel Day-Lewis, probably not like a fun hang when he's.
Yeah.
Although if he's like, I have to be Lincoln for 4 months, I'm
cool.
definitely playing mini golf with him.
Yeah.
Come on, Mr. President, let's go play mini golf.
Did you ever see that like Me and Andy documentary where it's basically like Jim Carrey talking about when he played Andy Kaufman?
You know, I haven't seen it yet. I know that it's out there, and it's like I want to watch it. I just haven't had the time yet.
It's really interesting, and one of the things I found really interesting about it is the director had so much trouble with Jim on that movie
because
he was just being Andy.
Yeah.
And there's even a point where it was like they talked about this in the documentary where like the director would call Jim like when they weren't shooting at all and try and talk to Jim to try and plead with him to get Andy to act right, and it was like Andy would answer the phone. He'd be like, "Can I please just talk to Jim?" And it got to the point where Jim...
Thank you very much.
Yeah, where Jim said to him, he's like, "Look, like, I think he finally got through to Jim at some point, like, this whole thing." And Jim goes, like, being himself, being like, "Look, I can do a facsimile or my best impression of Andy Kaufman for the rest of the movie if that's what you want, or I can keep being Andy Kaufman for the rest of this movie and we can, like, finish it." And the director was like, no, do what you got to do.
Do your thing.
But it was basically, and then the director was like, "But thank you. I just needed to know that you were still there." Basically,
right.
And Coltrane says the documentary was good. You reminded me of it. I actually forgot about it. I do want to see it. I would love to find the time to see it, but too many Marvel series. That's what it comes down to. Matt and Casey says that the second season of Iron Fist was so much better. Plus, he wanted more Mary. Meow. Yeah. Mary in the street, Walker in the sheets.
Hey-o.
Will's like, what? I didn't watch it.
No idea. No idea what that means.
What? I didn't watch it. I have not seen it. We are about out of time, which is unfortunate because we literally got to zero the topics that I thought we were going to get to. Well, no, that's not true. Halloween. I knew we were going to talk about the Halloween movie. But I had some Coltrane-heavy topics that would have been good. But you know what? Here's the beauty of the way we do the show. We'll just save it. We'll get to it. Yeah. Very soon, we're going to have a previously recorded installment of the Bladtcast, Story Time with Uncle EO, where we get some great passages that Jeff reads to Coltrane and myself.
I was thinking about that earlier because we referenced the blog, and I was like, has that even gone out yet?
Nope. Not yet.
Solid gold.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so we will get to that, and there's just so many things that I want to get to, but here's the thing. This is Bladtcast 300.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the road, as our friends in KISS are about to embark on. I believe tomorrow they're announcing tour dates.
Okay.
So we're going to have to plan for when we go, and whatever night that is. Jeff, you can play video games. That's cool. Whatever. You don't have to. Yeah, that's cool.
Works for me. I've seen KISS once.
When did you see them?
I saw them at the Ducks Kings game at Dodger
Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe, I might be wrong, but I think they might have lip synced that performance. I'm not entirely sure.
I believe it.
Yeah. if they didn't lip sync, that might be the one where they should have lip synced.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
Yeah.
They were like out. It was like the most ridiculous thing because it was like they're out on the field.
Yeah.
And already you've got the situation where like an ice rink versus a baseball stadium.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a size disparity there. It's
true.
So you've got like not a lot of area being occupied by this like ice rink, and so like way out in the outfield they just had like lifts, like cherry picker stones, and they were just like Kiss was just up on these lifts while like some pyrotechnics was
Going
going
up
on.
and down.
And you're just kind of like, oh yeah, look at that.
So
God.
instead of trying to pack too much into this episode, instead we're going to leave some of it on the table. We'll get to it in a few weeks. Maybe we'll record it this week, and you guys will hear it in a few weeks. We've got a few things to dole out. Some previously recorded stuff. I was in New York for a week. I got a show out of that. Well, actually, I recorded 2 shows out of that, but my friend Tom Kelly, I accidentally deleted one of them. So we got one show when I was in New York with my friend Adam Wade. But that's all right. I already told Tom, I'm like, well, then you're going to have to Skype with me, and we're going to do a new show. So that might be more fun, too. Anyway, thank you so much to everyone, one, who was in the live chat tonight or this afternoon, evening, wherever you are. If you're watching the archived version, please leave comments and questions, anything. We'll incorporate them into future episodes. We really appreciate it. We especially appreciate Matt and Casey as our patron. The patron saint of the Bladtcast.
Yeah.
He's definitely the patron saint of the Bladtcast.
He gets a little statue of him like surrounded by like little cherub versions of us.
And I can't wait till we record the Matt and Casey only episode.
Yeah.
And
He
we'll get
drove the snakes out of the group chat.
Yeah.
We will. We'll get his permission. We'll let him have the episode. So Wu-Tang did an album, right, where you had to spend $1 million.
Well, it was no. They made an album and they only sold it to one person, and it was the Pharmadouche.
The
He's
Martin
the one who bought
Shkreli
it,
guy.
at least.
Yeah. But it's like they considered it art, like a painting. So it's like one person has it.
Yeah.
This album that he spent like $1 million on, and he could do whatever he wants with it. If he was somebody else, he might have shared it.
Yeah.
You know, just posted it on YouTube for free. But instead, he's like, nope. It's mine. So we'll see if Matt wants us to share the Matt only episode. Like at some, like, can it be his episode for 90 days? Or if he wants it forever, that's fine too.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine with that. But we'll do it.
You should just let Matt share it if he ever decides to, right?
Yeah.
Like if he wants to post it on something to share, that's his call. And we'll retweet the
All up
shit
to
out
you,
of it.
Matt.
Uvula Scrimshaw, I love this show. How can I become a patron? Seriously. Cold hard cash money. That's how you can do it.
Send us some ribs, bitch.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And by the way, Matt does have some ribs coming. Coltrane says that he will especially be here for the Matt and KC cast as long as there are ribs. Okay. So maybe we can do a twofer. We can do it when we do the Christmas special. But
this is the Matt episode. You're saying this is good episode.
we just have barbecue sauce like dripping off of our faces. Anyway, and of course, thank you to everybody who has been a part of the Bladtcast, been a guest, been a regular listener, people who don't even like it but gave it a try. Thanks for giving it a try. That's all right. Look, we're not for everyone, but what I always say, there is an episode for everyone because we talk about so many different things. This one might not have been for everyone, but if you're drunk in the middle of the afternoon, this is probably a great one for you. But we'll be back next week with a brand new episode, not with cameras, but for a lot of you, you're just hearing this as audio anyway. So the idea that we had cameras, you're like, yeah, I don't like those guys enough that I need to like click on a YouTube link. I'm just gonna go ahead and listen to the audio only version like I always do. Until next week, you can follow us at Bladtcast on Twitter, BLADTCAST, like The Bladtcast on Facebook. I'm at Christian DMZ. And let me go through my plugs. Here at AfterBuzz on Sundays at 8 o'clock for right now. I'm on the Daredevil After Show. 10 p.m. It's Marvel TV Weekly. Tuesdays at 4 Pacific, it's the Trump Report. Wednesdays at 10, it is South Park Weekly. And also, I'm the co-host and co-producer of the Dennis Miller Option on Podcast One, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'm at Christian DMZ, Twitter and Instagram. Will Sterling, where do people find you?
At Will Sterling _ on Instagram and Twitter.
And if they want to find the Motivation Report, just Google.
Motivation Report.
Just Google it.
Yeah, at Motivate Report. Just it's there. It exists.
Jeff DeRay, where can people find you?
You can find me at Jeff DeRay on Instagram and Twitter, but I don't know why you'd want to.
I don't either. No, that's not true. I love watching, reading what you have to say on Twitter. All right, so this is the sort of thing where we don't have an engineer, so I'm going to have to walk out of the studio and turn off the live stream. So you guys will still be on camera for a couple minutes.
Cool.
So whatever you want to share, you go ahead.
Next, you're hot, so we
But
should talk about
This is
really
when we
bad
talk
things.
about Christian,
Yes,
but
please
only
do.
until he gets to the booth, so that he has to
Yeah.
rewatch the entire episode just for this last bit.
Or, yeah, you just rewind it.
Locker room talk.
In any case,
No,
by the way,
that's not
Coltrane
possible.
makes an excellent point. At Coltrane Leaks. Thank you, Coltrane, for being our special guest
yeah.
today. That was completely unintentional. At Coltrane Leaks, make sure you follow him. But we'll have, I believe next week will be story time with Uncle Leo, and you will catch that next time on the Bladtcast.
Keep it 300, yo. Keep it 300, yo. Are we supposed to fill this
Don't say
time?
anything that someone can use against you in a political campaign.
Oh, okay.
Don't talk locker room talk here. This is not locker room talk.
I love sports goals. I love scoring them. I love
goals?
seeing them.
Sports goals?
Sports goals. Locker room talk. Deal with it.
Locker room talk. I think they
Have you changed? Have you changed your jock lately? Locker room talk.
You have to whisper the title. Locker room talk.
Locker room. I feel like that's like a.
Christian's making sure we're not talking shit about him. Christian's so dumb. He's so dumb. Oh,
Christian.
shit.
Oh shit.
I don't think my voice is recorded.
Oh.
So we're listening to Christian right now, and he's just saying how much he hates all the listeners because he's
can't talk
double
back.
crossing you.
can't hear anything
You
you say.
can't hear him. You can't hear all the horrible things he says.
I'm about to hit stop streaming.
Bye. We love you.